boys and girls, to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I am Jenny the Storytelling Genie, here with my sweet and crafty cat, Cosette. Did you know that Cosette uses her magic to whisk us away on my magic carpet to where we can go to a special space and share a wonderful story? And after that, our imagination should be really active and excited to try a craft or other activity inspired by the story we finished. We sure have a lot of fun together, don't we, Cosette? I hope that you have fun on these adventures with us. Today, Cosette has a very special story picked out for us that I think maybe we could all use. It's about a sloth who helped a family to slow down. We're very busy, Cosette and I. How about you at home? Do you play sports or participate in other activities? Maybe you're busy with school and homework. Do you get together with your friends and your family on the weekend? Or maybe you have chores to do? Isn't it amazing how quickly time goes because we're so busy and we're always on the run and we've always got something to do? Do you make time just to slow down and look around and enjoy where you're at when you're there? It's something I need to practice more, and Cosette helps to remind me about that. And this story helps to remind me about that. You see, there's nothing wrong with work or activities or sports or getting together with your friends or family or all the other things that you can get into in a week. But it's important to slow down and just take a couple of deep breaths, maybe listen to the sounds around you, take a look to see the nature around you, and just appreciate where you are. It's something we all should practice, and maybe this story about a sloth can help you too. What do you say? Are you ready for us to go on that enchanted journey story time and learn all about the sloth who slowed the family down? All right. Do you think they know what to do, Cosette? I think so too. Rub your hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we'll go. Welcome, boys and girls, to another enchanted story time. Today I have a special book for you. This is called The Sloth Who Slowed Us Down by Margaret Wilde. I hope that you enjoy it. Amy's family was the speediest family in the world. They walked fast, drove fast, shopped fast, and ate fast. There was never any time to talk or play or laugh or laze. Until the afternoon, Amy brought a sloth home to stay. Where on earth did you find him? Dad asked. Hanging from a tree in the park, Amy said, plucking one beetle and two moths from his fur. Mom shuddered. Ooh, he needs a bath, she said. Sloth shook his head very, very slowly, because sloths do everything slowly. Right away, said Mom. I have to warn you, Sloth, Amy whispered. We are the fastest family in the entire world. Sloth had a long, leisurely bath with lots of bubbles, a purple duck, and a red boat. He dried himself slowly, combed his fur slowly, admired himself for ages in the mirror, and then crawled down the stairs for dinner. Amy, Mom, and Dad were already sitting at the table. Hurry up, buddy, said Dad. Chop, chop, said Mom. See what I mean, Sloth? Amy said with a sigh. Sloth ate very, very slowly. He was so slow that Amy had plenty of time to talk about the things that had happened that day. How amazing, said Mom. I wish I'd been there, said Dad. When Sloth had finished helping, very slowly, to do the dishes, Dad said, there's just enough time for a quick trot around the block before bedtime. But Sloth couldn't trot. He dragged himself along very, very slowly. So slowly that Amy and Mom and Dad had plenty of time to chat with the neighbors, pet a cat, throw a stick for a friendly dog, admire the moon, and try to find the red star. When they got home, Sloth made himself comfortable hanging from a tree in the garden. Amy hugged him goodnight. Thank you, she whispered. This has been the best day of my life. Sloth stayed for 3 glorious weeks. But one morning, Sloth moved next door to the new speediest family in the world. I'll miss him, Dad said. He's such a restful little fellow. He'll hate it there, Mom said. That family's always in such a rush. They walk fast, drive fast, shop fast, and eat fast. Oh, Sloth will change all that, Amy said. And he did, very, very slowly. The end. And what did you think of the sloth who slowed us down? I loved this story. I think sometimes we get caught up in inertia and all the things happening around us. We're rushing to get ready for school, eating our breakfast fast, brushing our teeth fast, combing our hair, sticking our sneakers on our feet, and running out the door to make it to the bus on time. And then maybe when we get home, maybe we have sports or other activities we have to do and homework, and then we have to eat our dinner and take a shower and go to bed. And my goodness, it can be a very fast-paced world we live in. So I like this story because Sloth reminds us that it's okay to slow down, to look around us, see nature, enjoy our family, have conversations, and just be still at peace. So, I hope you enjoyed the story about the sloth as well. I have a sloth activity for us to do together today. Would you like to go and try it with me now? Okay, let's go. For today, I thought it would be a lot of fun if we made our very own sloth notebook or journal that we could take out with us and use when we observe nature. Maybe we're gonna look at some birds, or maybe we'll find some cool bugs in the yard, and we'll want a place that we can write them down and kind of keep a journal. So the first step in making our sloth notebook is to measure our notepad. And I'm going to measure the entire length of my notepad. My notepad is 8 inches long, 5 inches wide. And now this extra little measurement that I need the thickness of my notebook. And again, yours might be different, so make sure you have an adult help you measure your thickness. And it is 3 millimeters thick. So I'm just marking it 8 inches, and I'm drawing a pencil line. And then I know that I'm going to need 5 inches wide. So I'm gonna measure it the other direction. But I've got a 5-inch line running across, and I have an 8-inch line up to this first fold. And then from this first fold, I have another 8-inch line running up, plus my extra fold line, 3 millimeters. And all down the side is that 5-inch, so that my notebook is going to sit inside these measurements, and it's going to fold over and cover it. So once you've drawn your lines according to your size, you go ahead and cut those out. Jenny the Genie is not perfect without a paper cutter, and that's okay if you're not either. You can always add some extra trims if you need to, but the idea is that we're going to cover up our notebook front and back, a little something like so. And this is where those folds are gonna come in handy, kind of help us out a little bit. And I'm just folding it over for now, just bending it in place where I think it's gonna go, making sure everything lines up. And then on the top, doing the same. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna use that glue that I have, and I'm going to glue my notebook right into the cover we just made. You don't want to put any glue on the top cover. We're only going to be gluing the inside cover part. Next, you're just going to carefully line up your notebook and slowly press it into place. And then again, I made that extra piece down here. Not necessary, but you can if you want. On that part, I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue, and then I'm gonna do the same up here. There you go. So you should have something that looks a little like this to start you out with. You've got a folder cover, and your notebook is covered. And then you're gonna be ready for your next step. Now what we have is a very simple cover over our notebook, which is fine, just the way it is. We could decorate this, we could put stickers on here, we could add anything we want, and this automatically will be a very special notebook that you can use to journal and write about the things you see. But I thought it'd be a lot of fun if we add an extra little piece, a fastener piece. I'm going to use these Velcro fasteners to make it so it's a notebook that we open. So I'm just going to use our extra piece of the folder that I've already cut because I know that I've got plenty of length. I'm not even going to need that much length. And I know that I've got plenty of width left over, as you can see. So I'm going to use this to make this extra piece. What I want to do is make part of my folder that comes up, and again, I'm going to use these pre-built-in folds we already have, which are awesome for this project because I know that they measure the right amount. And I'm going to decide on how much I want the top to come. So this, you don't need to have a specific measurement. This is just this extra piece. I know that I'm going to need some on the back to secure it to my notebook. So I'm going to keep about 1 inch on the back to go with my sticky tape here so that I can not have to trim my tape so much. That'll be helpful. And then as much length in the front as you want to add a fastener and decorations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my folder. Now that we have our measurements, we know this is the front, we know this is going to be the back, and it's going to fold over into the front. So it's going to look something like this. I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in the back. And again, the trickiest part I think is just lining it up where you want the folds to appear, where you don't want the folds to appear. And this is your project. You can make it however you like. So you might decide you want yours a little longer in the front than I made my flap. That's up to you. Again, there's no right or wrong. But you're gonna have something that looks a little like this now. See that flap? Okay, once that's done, now we can get on with the fun creative part. And since we read a story about a sloth, I thought it might be fun if we draw a sloth right onto our folder. And if you don't feel like drawing one, you could certainly use construction paper or anything you like to make a sloth face. But I'm gonna draw a sloth face so I can show you how you can draw one too. And then we can maybe give him a couple little hands here so he's like opening up. That might be a lot of fun too. So we're gonna go ahead and start by drawing our sloth. So I've decided this is gonna be a tummy for my sloth, and his paws are gonna be here, and it's gonna be like we're opening up his tummy to see inside there. So I'm going to draw part of his tummy above it, and this is just gonna be an oval. And again, right now I'm just kind of rough sketching. I'm not too worried about the shape or pattern, making sure it's just right. That's why we have erasers. Just drawing kind of a rough oval shape. And I'm doing it light enough that I can erase it. That's why we use a pencil. And then I'll go over it with marker when I'm close to finished. After you've drawn your oval, we're gonna make his paws partially above again and partially into the bottom space. And I'm gonna make it look like he is grabbing his tummy. So I'm gonna give him his little claws. He's a three-toed sloth. And I'm gonna copy and do the same thing on each side. I don't know if you're familiar with the Care Bears, but one thing I liked about the Care Bears is they had different designs on their tummies. So I'm gonna give my sloth a heart. And so these are paws, these are the 3 toes, there's a heart, and this is going to be some leafy substance that he's eating when I'm done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a face. There's my nose. I'm going to draw a big happy face, and these happy face kind of give him a little bit of cheek areas. And sloths kind of have spiky, kind of crazy hairdos, don't they? Sometimes have moss and things growing on them. So something like this. So here's his head outline. This is the heart in the middle to make his face. These are what I think of like a panda paw coming like this, or a gumdrop shape. And I've just drawn some circles in the middle of those to make his eyes. And this is just a happy mouth, like a big wide W. And this is the opening, that's his little tongue. And I've given him a tummy, and I've given him paws and claws. And I might just draw some leaves here. These are fasteners. And one side is really fuzzy, like this, fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy. And one side is scratchy. And that way they stick together. So there you have it, your very own animal notebook that should line up pretty good. It should be covered back, and you can see it from the sides, from the front. The next step I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and color my notebook in, maybe draw a little bit more and design this. You can do the same, you can add stickers, anything you like. This is the part where you get to have some fun. I'm gonna go ahead and finish mine up. I'm gonna take a picture and show it to you, and then it'll be time to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette. So I hope you enjoyed this project with me. I hope you didn't find it too difficult, and remember, with any of the projects I show you, you can modify it to make it work for you. This was an extra step. You don't have to do that. You can just cover a notebook just the way we did and color and design it without this step. So anything that works for you, challenge yourself, use your creativity and imagination to come up with your own special, wonderful projects. And again, I'm going to show you how mine came out. I hope you had a great time and enjoyed it just as much as me, but we're out of time once again. So are you ready to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette with me? All right, let's go. And welcome back to the Magic Lamp, boys and girls. I hope that you enjoyed the story about the sloth who slowed us down and our sloth activity. Now remember, that's something you can do with any character or creature that you like. It doesn't have to be a sloth, but I enjoyed making our little notebook today with the sloth on it to remind us to slow down. And in that notebook, you can use it as observations. You can take it out with you on a nature walk or in your backyard. You can write about the different birds you see, or maybe squirrels or chipmunks. I really enjoy watching the little chipmunks skitter across my yard. Or maybe you have rabbits in your yard that eat the grass and the clover. Or maybe you take a special trip somewhere and you want to write about that. You can use that notebook however you like, but I hope it'll be a reminder for you to slow down and pay attention to some of our other senses, whether it's something we smell, something we hear, something we see, something we taste or touch or feel, and that it will remind you to appreciate the time that you have right where you're at, and to slow down and just enjoy life sometimes, instead of go, 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 go. It can be hard to do, but I hope that notebook will remind you and help you reflect on some of the wonderful things around you when you take time to slow down and enjoy them. All right, Cosette, I think we're out of time for today. I hope that you boys and girls will come and see us again soon. Until you do, take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.